It's just me putting my microphone on. Welcome.
All right. Where's this focused on?
Not me.
There we go. Now it is.
Should we turn up that one? Is it too dark? Or are we good? Just up one thing on that. An ISO.
No.
That looks better.
Okay.
Someone's watching. I don't know. Hi. We're trying to figure it out.
We're slowly building. All right. We have 2 live streams going on, so we don't know where to look at. It depends on, I guess, who joins. On this side, we have YouTube. And on this side, we have Instagram. We didn't think we were going to do Instagram until a few seconds ago. This needs to be over there, so we're looking at the same thing.
Oh, fine.
Kitty cat's coming. Oh, we can do it like that. Sorry if you don't enjoy seeing. Let's see. Oh, that's perfect.
Okay, welcome.
Welcome.
This is Woo.
Whiskey Woo. You can see here in the majority of our content. We are not in the van, if you guys don't know. I guess we should introduce ourselves. Hi,
Katie.
Joe. You probably know that since you follow this account. We are not in the van. We are at my mom's house right now. And we wanted to talk through some of the questions that we've been getting on, like, are you in the van? We're not.
We're not.
Where are you in the world?
Colorado.
Are you traveling right now?
Look over there, not at yourself.
Oh, no. Well, I always be looking at myself. I am going to pull up Instagram, though, on this side.
Feel free to ask questions because we don't really have.
We've got questions.
Well, no, like we don't really have a plan other than to answer questions. So ask them if you have them.
Yes.
But we do have some.
We have things that people have asked, and we do also have a cat that is very interested in a lot of cables that we have connecting. The camera, hobby.
She won't knock it over.
She's not very smart.
Famous last words.
Oh boy. First off, can everyone hear us? We have microphones set up. I would assume people can hear us, but also, you know what they say about people who assume.
I'm not gonna say that.
Well, yeah, I don't want to get
fined in a day of community service if you watch F1.
Okay. I guess one thing that we could talk about right away is where is all the YouTube content?
Okay, so if I'm talking to you, YouTube. We did a shift for the last, how many weeks are we in now? 3, so 4 weeks because it started just before the month of September.
Mm-hmm.
We fully committed to growing our Instagram audience. And the reason for that is in order to be able to make content for you, we have to make money. We don't make any money on YouTube, but we are professional content creators, professional photographers with quite the portfolio. So we focused on the business end of our stuff. Within the last year, you've seen us slow down, which is why we're in a house and not in the van, to build up the business so that we have money to be able to do traveling and share that content online. So we took on the Creator Passport 30-day challenge, all about growing your Instagram. So we've been posting 3 short form videos a day, which is a lot of work. And because of that, we put the brakes on just about everything because if we can grow up our Instagram audience, we can start working with brands doing UGC content creation, just regular content creation in general. And that has been holding us back. So we dove all in because why not? Yeah.
Basically, we've been having a lot of conversations with a few brands, with a few brands. They're basically saying it's like, you don't have enough followers for us to want to talk to you, which I get it. There's a lot of people reaching out to, you know, these big outdoor brands and travel brands and stuff like that. But we know that we have a really good portfolio. We have worked with big brands like Ram Trucks and Jeep and Mercedes and all these big brands. But when we show them to them, they don't care. They're like, your follower count's not high enough. So we really decided that we needed to focus on Instagram, which is sad because in our hearts, we want to have a fantastic blog and we want to have a fantastic YouTube. But we know those 2 channels take the longest to build up. So it was frustrating because we had to stop doing the things that we were really excited about to build up the Instagram, which we're also pretty excited about. You know, we've had a lot of growth over the last 2 months, like almost 5,000 followers, which is fantastic.
And then I personally enjoy editing the short form content. It's just been a challenge to make sure that it is still providing value, because at the end of the day, we don't just want to like mess around and just be like useless in life. We want to have purpose, and we want to make sure that what we're doing is providing value and is helpful to hold the inspiration to go out and explore the world on their own. So it's been a fun creative challenge to make sure that we're still aligned with that message while also cranking out an excessive amount of content.
Yeah. People, it's a struggle to do one reel a day. Like whatever people say, like to sit down for an hour to 2 hours a day, every single day, make a reel, grab the footage, edit it. If you have to be on screen, write out the caption, then post it. It's a 2 hour chunk of the day. And if you're doing 3 a day,
it's time consuming.
It is literally our entire day. So it's.
I feel like in any creative pursuit, at least I don't know if anyone else who does something creative for a living, it is not as simple as just sitting down and doing it, because you have to have like that spark of inspiration, and yeah, it's just not straightforward. I can't just sit in the computer and edit and just do it, even if I have the script fully written and I know where the footage is.
Yeah.
Because it is a creative output, you have to be in the right mindset. So thankfully we have 2 of us. There's days when my creative output is exactly 0 and nothing happens. And then Joey picks up on the slack. And then if he's having a day where he's like, I'm not being as productive as I'd like to be, I get to pick up the slack there. So I think, thank goodness for that, or else this 3 reels a day I don't think would have been happening.
Yeah, we have a lot of friends who are also in this like 30-day reel challenge, and it's just one of them.
They're solo.
They're solo, and it's a struggle. Like you cannot have an off day mentally. You have to be focused 100% of the time just to be able to get that one video out. Yeah. You know, I don't want to sound like we're complaining content creators, because like this is the life, we're living it, but like this is a full-time job for us, and there are stresses involved.
So that was a really long way of saying we've been ignoring other platforms for Instagram.
Yeah.
Hopefully our YouTube friends have seen some of our shorts that Joey does put up. And if you're not following us over on Instagram, you can see those 3 posts a day. We try to have fun with it. Sometimes we go a little crazy. You can see that. Go watch our Grand Canyon video. I had lost my mind.
Katie called the Grand Canyon a giant ditch.
Not wrong.
That was it. It's just a big ditch.
I was having some creative struggles that day. So, yeah, long story long, that's exactly what we've been up to. We are nearing the end of the month, though, and hoping to be able to put some more energy into those platforms we've been ignoring. I have a timeline of our Redwood trip out on a Premiere Pro project, so I'm close for that one. I'm really excited to share that, because that's one of my favorite parks that we've been to.
Yeah.
So
Redwood was great. There were banana slugs, and I did rap.
Oh.
I rapped about banana slugs.
Don't
I earned
unfollow
my
us
junior
for
ranger
it.
badge. Yeah, please don't unfollow us. But if you do want my single, I will send it to you. Mixtape.
All right, do you want to do the questions that were in the?
Well, one of the questions that you just kind of talked about was, what is our our editing systems? What systems do you use for editing and making content?
Okay, I'll take this one. And Woo is needy girl, as you can see. We edit primarily in Premiere Pro. We have the whole Adobe suite, so we also edit our photos in Lightroom and use Photoshop. We do the bulk of the editing in Premiere Pro, where we have various project files. And then after we export the finished short, Joey takes it into CapCut, and CapCut is where we add all of our closed captioning. We've found that it has such a better offering of choices for closed captioning, and in all honesty, accuracy and speed in being able to put it together than doing it natively in Premiere Pro.
Yeah.
And then doing it in platform, we just don't like the options of how they look. So we've picked our style in CapCut, and that's what we do. Yeah,
we like being able to be consistent across all the platforms, and I don't know if that hurts us or helps us by not using the in-app native features. But when we're posting the same reel across, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and Instagram, it saves us probably 30 minutes by not having to go individually and do the captions in each platform.
And I've learned that I don't enunciate very well sometimes, so it would be a lot of adjustments on each platform to fix what I've said in the captions.
Yeah.
So yeah, Premiere Pro and CapCut. Do we have the subscription version of CapCut? So we pay extra for the extra caption options, but CapCut does have free options. There are free editing software options out there on top of just the native features in the different apps on the phone. Like you could edit a full TikTok in TikTok, the way they've improved how the editing works in there. So if you're not looking to subscribe to anything, it can be done. And now you can like save from it before you post, which is even better because it doesn't have a watermark. And then DaVinci Resolve, there's a free version too. So if you're looking to get into any sort of video editing, there is stuff out there to start where you don't have to have a big investment into anything.
We've also been using Canva a lot lately for our shorts. When we're using, so it's non-captioned, but when there is copy on the screen, it is the easiest and honestly the best looking option without being like a guru in Photoshop or in design of making.
Canva is so fast. And
Yeah.
It took us a while to fully embrace it. And I don't know what the hiccup was on that, but now that we have it, it's amazing. Like he can have our business page open on his computer and I can have it open on my computer. We can be working within the same project file so that all the text is consistent. We have like one long one where we just duplicate the page and change the copy on it.
Yeah.
But Canva has been a huge game changer for us for copy, for the cute little stuff, like
thing.
Just everything. It is a phenomenal website.
Yeah.
And we're so glad that we started to embrace it because it's elevated our stuff.
Yeah, and building templates and stuff like that for like the blog, like all of our banner images, like there's a template for it. All of our like Pinterest pins, like there's templates for that. And it's so easy just to be efficient with all of our creation.
And with it all hosted online,
yeah,
to be able to just log in on my laptop, your phone, and the project file and all of the resources are there. You're not linking media. You're not having to do anything crazy. So I think we also recommend that. Not that they were asking for recommendations, but here we are.
Yeah, here we are. And then for the business side of things, for content, we use ConvertKit, which is now Kit. They changed their names after we started. That is our email tracker and email blast, and like you make sequences and stuff like that. So it's a really cool program. There is a free version, but I think we pay, I think it's like $150 a year. So it's not bad. And that includes like up to 10,000 emails on our list. And right now we're at 93. So we're fine for a while. But it's really interesting if there's a lot of like automations that you can have set up. So like if someone subscribes to you, depending on where they are in the website and where they subscribe to, you can add them to like a certain list. So like if they subscribe to your like Joshua Tree blog post, you can now like only send them content that is Joshua Tree related or Southern California related or like Western United States related. Or if they're only interested in Katie and Joe and not as, you know, national park people, but just like they're friends of ours, we could send them those emails. It's a reason why there are professional like ConvertKit people out in the world because you can do basically anything. For our website, it's hosted on A2 Hosting, which they have been fantastic. We moved everything earlier this year from Squarespace to WordPress.org, not .com. There is a difference. And doing the process, we enrolled in a blogging course through Mike and Laura Travel, and we would highly recommend it. They walked us through basically step by step on moving our entire website over, and like almost overnight, our views tripled as soon as we hit live. Like it was wild. I think our highest month on Squarespace was like 250 views. On where we're at now, we got like 3,800 a few 2 months ago, like when Amazon Prime Day was happening, and it's all because just better SEO. Google likes WordPress.org way better than they do Squarespace, so it's definitely worth it. And then, Squarespace.org, that is how we actually built our website. This was our first time building our website from scratch, and it was fantastic. It was so easy. It took a while to kind of get into the things and see, because it's not like drag and drop like Squarespace, but like once you get like an understanding of it, it's a very simple process. We use Cadence Blocks, which is like a plugin for it, and it makes it so easy.
If you're going to start a website, go ahead and just learn how to start it on WordPress, because Squarespace, if you get too deep, it's going to be a big undertaking to transfer it over, which you will likely inevitably end up doing. And Squarespace these days is really expensive, so it's not like you're saving money doing it. Yeah, you're saving a little bit of time, but a little bit of YouTube watching and resources to learn. And like with the plugins, it's not as complicated as you would think, and it will just benefit you if you are making a blog to hopefully actually reach people.
Yeah, and if you have any questions, like there are Facebook groups and like Reddit subreddits and everything that you can imagine on YouTube. Like
yeah, there's so much free resources.
Anything, and it's there. Cool. What are the other questions? What do you do for work while traveling? We don't work anymore a traditional corporate job. We both left our jobs in mid 2022. I needed a mental break from life, so I didn't do anything for like probably 3 or 4 months before I started thinking about like, all right, now that I left advertising, like how do we do this full time? We had like an inclination that like this was going to be the future, like UGC, YouTube, all of that, like having a little media production agency. But we are not.
We don't have like traditional jobs. We do work because we need to make money, like we said, which is why we're here and not in the van, so that we could do freelance jobs doing content creation, because I have a professional photography and production background, and you have the like business background, so it like comes together for our small business. So we do content creation, we do photography to fill up the bank account so that when we get back on the road, we can actually afford to travel. And then hopefully as we grow and get bigger, we'll be able to bring in money through our own channels and not just outside projects. Because right now it's not building, we're not doing stuff as influencers per se, because we have a much smaller following. We're doing it as professional production, which is great. It's been really fun. But I think our long-term goal would be to be able to have our own channels be what sustains us, like our blog and our YouTube moving forward.
Yeah.
So as those slowly do grow, because they're more of a slow burn, we are working freelance when opportunities arise doing content creation.
Mm-hmm. And we, like Katie said, we have 2 companies, right? We have Katie and Joe on the Go, which is our influencer website, YouTube, stuff like that. And then we have Global Adventure Media, which is our media production agency. We've worked with a bunch of brands over the last 2 years. It's brought us everywhere from New York to cover the Macy's Day Parade for Ram Trucks, to smaller brands for like fans and trailer covers and UGC.
Yeah.
Not a lot of massive brands for like the UGC side yet, but we are having more and more of those conversations the larger we get.
Yeah.
And the more we kind of like insert ourselves into like this outdoor travel world, which has bin a lot of fun.
Yeah. So if you are watching and own a company and are like, dang, I need some social media content, hit us up.
Biggest surprise in the last year?
I feel like the biggest surprise, I don't even know if I don't know where I'm going with this. We're just going to word vomit for a minute. I think it's not necessarily a surprise. It's just an eye-opener of how much we don't control when it comes to starting this life as content creators. You could work your tail off and still not grow and find your audience, which is what we have lived and discovered over the last 2 years since starting the business. It is not for lack of effort or hard work or passion. You also need an element of luck, and there's a lot more at play. And it's never quite as straightforward as people may make it seem on the internet. So I don't know how to, maybe not a surprise, but it's definitely an eye opener. Like I said, we and other people out there work so very hard on things that they produce and show to the world. And it's sometimes not favored in an algorithm, or it hasn't been put in front of the audience that wants to follow along on the journey, or what have you. So we've been figuring that out and trying to be better in what we can control, increasing the quality of what we put out, and our efforts behind the scenes, so that when the luck bit happens for us, we're ready for that and we're providing value.
Yeah. And the platforms are so different. Like we had a video get almost 18.5 million views on Instagram a few weeks ago, and it got 150 on YouTube and like 8,000 on TikTok, right? It's really hard to judge what is quality content when the algorithm, like Katie said, it could not put the posts in front of the right people, and then it just decided it was a dud right then and there. So it's hard when we work so hard on what we consider good educational content for it to die, and then a video that we make in 3 seconds does extremely well. We're like, well, what do they want?
That's the internet. So I think at the end of the day, we are just working on, like I said, what we control, and making sure we're putting out content that we think is valuable. Also fun stuff, like it's a mix, because it's the internet, right? Whatever, it's the internet. So we do the research, and we're making sure that there is balance in that, and that what we put out is something we would have liked to watch, or we would have found helpful before we did X, Y, or Z. And yeah, working every day to improve ourselves, because we don't control the algorithm. We can only control us.
I control this dog's heart. She loves me. Look at this.
She's obsessed.
She's obsessed. Look at this cute girl.
All right, next question.
Next question. Biggest fear in life. Damn.
All right, so
come on, Show and Joe. Why you gotta hit us with that?
Going deep. So surface level fears, very much afraid of snakes.
Yeah, I don't like fish.
I'm very, very scared of snakes. I am afraid of heights. I get pretty bad vertigo, which means I definitely say no to certain hikes. Angel's Landing, I sat with the squirrels and just waited for Joe to finish that. Also afraid of airplanes, but as a goal of traveling and seeing the world, I just suck it up. It is something that just has to be done to get from point A to Z, and I'd rather see the world. So those are like my surface level fears. What's your surface level fear?
Well, mine are under the surface of the water, because I don't like fish, which is really unfortunate, because like I like beaches and I love going to like coastal towns and all of that, but I like the idea of being on top of the water where the fish won't touch me.
That's fair.
I tried to get over this fear of mine when I was like 22 or 23, and I went snorkeling in Mexico and had a full-on panic attack and climbed on top of a guy and almost drowned him, and it was not good. Like people had to like swim me back to the boat, and I don't know why that happened.
It's a fear.
It's just an irrational fear of fish. Bigger fear of this not working as content creators, fear of mediocrity. I feel like we have all the skills needed, and I'm always fearful that like maybe like we just won't get lucky, and this will be a very expensive mistake, and I will end up back in the corporate world in advertising for the next 40 years, not really enjoying what I do. But that is a fear of mine.
Yeah, I feel like fear of not being able to, what is the word I'm looking for? Fulfill your
destiny.
That's some like
law of surprise.
That's some video game Witcher. So we're watching Witcher right now. I think I have such a deep desire to learn and see so much in the world, and just maybe not being able to see and do as much as I'd like.
Yeah, because we traveled a lot when we worked corporate lives, and since we left and become travel influencers, we've not traveled a lot.
And I think that's just the reality of it, because travel is expensive. So you can't just go and gallivant around the world and share content until you have the back end figured out. So we traveled and gallivanted the world and then ran out of money. So now we have to build it back up. So anyone running an account is like a serious business and trying to be something like our Global Adventure Media page. Mm-hmm. There's a lot more to it than just going places. Like going places is a very small fraction of sharing content.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, side note, she has Grinch feet. They're really cute.
so them Grinch toes.
Grinch toes. And Holly B has graced us with her presence. That's all the questions we have. Do we want to talk? I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
I feel like we kind of hit what we were doing. If you're watching this, we would love for you to send a DM or an email of maybe if there's been a video that you've seen over the last 20 some odd days that we've been doing these 3 reels a day that's really resonated with you, or like, oh, I love that direction. The feedback, when it's constructive and not mean, is helpful, because like I said, our goal is to provide value to everyone. And then the YouTube world, we are working to get that stuff back up and running, and we're so excited because we are about to start showing you stuff from the area in the world that we absolutely loved, which was our drive up to Alaska and then Alaska itself. We're nearly there to be able to start talking about it. And like, I am so stoked to share that stuff because it was incredible.
Yeah. Everything from the Pacific Northwest up to Alaska and we went back to the Pacific Northwest after the Alaska Highway was a fantastic experience. It was truly stunning. And we feel like we collected so much information when it comes to how do you do the Alaska Highway? How do you do all 8 of the Alaskan national parks? Like,
because even though it's the modern age, it is still a big thing to tackle, and it takes a lot of resources.
Yeah.
So
monetary resources.
I mean, just
emotional resources.
Just like research, because it's not as simple as just showing up.
Yeah.
Because it is a different pace up there in a really, really cool way. So we're excited to share.
Yeah, and I think we're also very excited because we're going to start working on some of our first projects for this. We want to do a guide for the Alaska Highway. We want to do a guide for doing all the 8 national parks, and that is going to be another way that we're going to hopefully fund our travels, is by making these super intense and super like well-written
resources so that you can replicate or do it on your own, because we loved it so much and it took a lot of research, pre-planning and all that stuff. So if we could put everything we've learned into a little package to help other people get up there and see it, it's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be great. Any questions before we call this a day? My foot is asleep, so I might sit up. Oh yeah, that's painful. Nothing? Your brother says Katie and Joe is greater than PB&J.
I mean, that's true.
It's, I don't know about that. I like peanut butter and honey toasted.
I don't know how I feel about that.
That's okay.
I can't judge it because I've never had it.
It's right. It's okay. Any other questions, comments before we officially sign off? I think we covered everything that we wanted to do.
Yeah. So if you're in the YouTube space, hi, we are going to be editing and posting more videos in the nearish future. So keep your eye out for everything coming up. Is going to be some of our top parts.
Yeah.
So it's going to be good.
All right, guys. Hands in. Bye. Oh, I gotta walk over there.
We have to stop it. He has the awkward walk of shame to stop both of us.
I had to sit up because my foot fell asleep, so now I'm gonna Quasimodo it.
Hobble over there.
Hey. It's really asleep.
Which one?
My right one. Ah! Whoa. Okay. Katie, you can help too. Okay, bye. Thanks.